This month in SSW Tech News, ChatGPT is taking IQ tests, businesses are facing pressure for more AI transparency, and the Internet Archive is back after a cyber attack. I'm Cogan, and let's get into it. First up, ChatGPT has a new update. It's called O1, and if we have a look, it is scoring higher than ever on IQ tests. In fact, looking at this graph, it's getting 120. To put that into perspective, the average person gets from about 80 to 110. And also, in terms of the rest of the models, we can see things like ChatGPT-4, this little blue icon over here, and Bing Copilot are sitting right at the other end of the curve. So it's really quite ahead of everyone. It's impressive stuff. And we get to use it even more. On their Twitter account, OpenAI has told us that the new versions, O1 Mini and O1 Preview, are allowing more use before we hit our limits. So if you go onto ChatGPT and you toggle the different options, and you toggle into Mini, after 50 messages a week, you hit your max. But now we're getting 50 messages a day. For Preview, we used to be getting 30 messages per week before we hit the limit, but now we're getting an extra 20. And these new updates are funneling across into GitHub Copilot. Let's see in this little video over here how you can toggle through the different versions. So now developers can use the most recent version to tackle complex challenges with the latest AI reasoning. Speaking of new releases, Microsoft has just released Copilot Wave 2. Let's have a little look at this video to show what it's all about.
Introducing Copilot Pages. Pages is a dynamic, persistent canvas designed for multiplayer AI collaboration. Let's say you work for an EV charging company and there's a new business opportunity. You start in BizChat, where you ask Copilot to do some research on the web. You want some basic information, like the number of daily passengers and information on the number of parking spaces with EV chargers. Copilot pulls the information and you turn the response into a page so you can keep working. You want to share what you've got so far and ask your colleagues to help. So you tag them. Now everyone can immediately start to contribute.
So you can really see how that process has been streamlined. Very impressive. And we're getting some supercharged productivity across the whole Microsoft 365 suite. We're getting Python in Excel and also a bunch of updates to our old favorites like PowerPoint, Teams, Outlook, and the rest. Now to some more local news. The ABC in Australia is reporting that businesses are using AI without telling employees or customers. We're about to see some federal government legislation requiring businesses to disclose if they're using AI, and that'll be among a suite of other precautionary measures. This article also has an interesting graph at the bottom here showing which industries are using AI the most. And we can see leading the pack over here in the orange, we have information, media, telecommunications, and also professional services. So we're using that with the most maturity, and lagging behind are things like retail and hospitality. Now zooming out to the history of the internet, the Wayback Machine, also known as the Internet Archive, was the subject of a hack and many DDoS attacks. Caught up in this, 31 million unique records were stolen. That's 31 million emails, passwords, and names caught up in this breach. But good to know that it is back up and running in a read-only state. I would recommend checking Have I Been Pwned to see whether you were one of the 31 million caught up in the attack. On to the biggest gossip in the developer world this week. We can see that WordPress bans have affected access for WP Engine customers amid a dispute. So the WordPress co-founder Matt Mullenweg has banned WP Engine customers over some financial disputes and some trademark misuse claims. WP Engine, on the other hand, they've called the ban unwarranted, and they've also provided manual workarounds. I would recommend having a look at this video by Fireship. It's a really good explanation. Let's just watch the last little bit to get a conclusion on what happened.
The entire thing is a great example of how there are no good guys in war. Are you on the team of the petty megalomaniac CEO who's willing to burn down his entire community to prove a point? Or are you on the team of the parasitic freeloading private equity firm whose only guiding principle is financial gain? There's only one loser in this war, and that's the WordPress user.
So have a look at the start of that video, but I think it's interesting. The major loser is the WordPress user. And with WordPress being the major source of websites on the internet, that's a lot of losers. Now on to a bit of fun. Elon Musk is making promises again, this time about Tesla's Robo Taxis. Now, he's saying that these cybercabs will be available in 2026 at a price of $30,000. Now we know Elon Musk, so we're taking his promises with a grain of salt, but I have to say I would be excited to see parking lots turned into parks. And that's all for SSW Tech News this month. If you think we missed anything, let us know down below in the comments. We're always willing to learn. And check out SSW TV's YouTube channel for some more really cool content. This has been Eve Cogan with SSW Tech News.